The next principle that we can take advantage of in our design of products is anticipation. Anticipation is a very powerful emotional principle because when we anticipate something, it could be anticipating something good or it could be anticipating something bad, but it really heightens our experience. Think about, you know, the master of anticipation, Steve Jobs, announcing the iPhone. Anticipation had been building for months for his keynote speech about the this release of this new product, an iPhone, that he announced up on the stage, and people went wild for it. And Steve Jobs was a master at doing this kind of thing, where, you know, he would have a presentation on stage and say at the end, "Oh, one more thing," and boom, the iPod drops. The first time we had ever thought about being able to carry that much music in our pocket, and an entire music industry hinged on that moment. Because of his power for that, even still, people pay attention to Apple announcements in a way that they don't pay attention to announcements for other companies. Wouldn't Samsung love to have the kind of excitement around their products being released, new versions of their phones being released, that people get excited about around an iPhone? And some people make fun of that because it is hype. There is a certain amount of hype about it. And, you know, why should the iPhone really get more recognition for being released? And honestly, you know, each iPhone that comes out is an iteration, and it's slightly better than the one before, and doesn't really deserve the massive amount of hype and anticipation that comes from that announcement. But because Steve Jobs was able to tap into this anticipation and tap into this emotion in such a raw way, even many years after his death, it has carried through in this sort of announcement of their products. And that's an amazing demonstration of the power of anticipation. But think about other places and other products where we see anticipation. What about, you know, trailers for movies? You go to the movies and you see trailers. That's about building anticipation. What about, you know, releases of video games or other kinds of things? I'm sure you can think of all kinds of places where anticipation and excitement for something that's coming is adds to the emotional height of the situation. Or think about, you know, if you celebrate Christmas and celebrate the holiday giving season, again, you know, we can surprise and delight people with the presents we give them, but the anticipation even heightens that potential for surprise and delight even further, to the point where it makes everybody really nervous and kind of depressed and miserable. But still, it can happen that way. And it's the possibility of that happening that really excites us. We'll pick up the next principle on the next slide.